Hey there, everybody. I am trying to be more cognizant of stopping what I'm doing and remembering to record things, regardless of how often I am going to have to wipe down my phone to disinfect it before I put it to my face or on another surface in my house. But let me show you what we are working on. It is March 4th. I don't have a watch. And yeah, spring is spring is not here, but is it though? We've broken into the pile of wood chips and buckets. Uh, we had Asimina triloba, Lindera benzoin, and Hipophi rhamnoides. So that's pawpaw, spicebush, and sea buckthorn as they were. Don't mind a couple of the pots. I have one or two things that others that I've been working on, and I will tag those into the end of it. But what we are doing is excavating these and checking them. The Linderas are doing great, so let's take a look at those, and we'll do a couple of things, and then we'll come back for the next buckets. So here is our bucket. When I opened it, I did see, and you can probably still see it in here, there was some mold growth on the very, very top of the substrate. But as soon as I dug down a little bit, it is not really a problem. There is some sporulation, but honestly, this was wine cap spawn for a period of time over the growing season. And then we mixed in a bunch of other things that also have um, components that improve the spread and growth of breakdown organisms. So that's fine. But right over in here, you can see a little Lindera benzoin seed and another one. And so we are in pretty good shape. This looks promising. I will not be able to pick out all of the seeds that are in here visually. So what we're doing is just loading them into an air prune box. Let me zoom out just a little bit for you. So another one of our 2 foot by 1 foot air prune boxes, and I'm just gonna go bit by bit and throw a little bit of the substrate in by hand. I don't want to dump because I would not want to concentrate a huge amount of seeds in one particular spot in here. So dumping is no good. We're going to do handful transfers to spread things out, make sure that we've got, at least as we can see, a good dispersion of the seeds, and then we'll come back for the next one. So let me show you what I mean. Handful of moldy, poopy, hopefully with some seeds in it. And we'll just go like that. There we go. I saw a couple in here. Oh, there's one. There's another one and another one. So this is the process. I'm gonna take my hand back for a moment. We'll come back in just a sec when this is all done. I know I said I would do it when we came back, but look, there's a little worm friend hanging out in the bucket, which is exactly why we wanted those small pinholes and cracks in the side, so is that little guys like him could come in and keep mixing this material up. So, win. Okay, so here we are. The substrate is up to a decent level. I will still come back through here and kind of firm things up a little bit. But if we take a couple of quick peeks, you can see the seeds resting gently. Hang on. Seeds resting gently in a few places. I saw a whole slew of them a moment ago, but they're very tiny. So in trying to find them through the camera and phone screen, it's a little tricky, but see another one over here. There it is. Right there. It's the super shiny little bits in here are what I'm looking for. This is my box of linderas for the season, and we're going to wish them all the best. I'll just firm this very, very gently. So a little bit of cover and next to no pressure. All I want to do is just kind of give this a slight bit of firming. And the only reason I'm doing this, it's not to push the seed down or anything like that. I just want a really good surface area contact with all of the material that's in this box right now, because that's going to be what will protect these seeds from drying out, from becoming too cold on some of the overnight lows. We'll still probably stick this under some kind of cover for the next little bit, just till we get past the really dangerous parts of the season. But here we go. I'll have to do a little tag for this one real quick, but that's the linderas. Next up are the pawpaws. What's really nice is that I can come back over to this pile and I can kind of fill up the very bottom course of each grow box, each air prune box, with the dirt and slightly broken up bits of wood chip, and that's just going to bring it up to a level where I'm not as concerned about overburying the seeds. So I think this is a nice little system that works in tandem with itself, and it feels pretty good to fold the overwintering functions with the early spring functions. So just a little thought. We are working our way through the substrate in the pawpaw bucket, and for those of you who watched the previous video, you may recall that there was really just one layer of the pawpaw seeds in this bucket. And so while I don't have to go quite as delicately in the beginning stages here, it does still seem like a good idea to be pretty ginger about it, because I am about to start hitting them. See? Look at them. Still got a pretty good color. I don't see it germ. I don't see a sprout, but that's okay. We're going to put him just to the side for now, so that we can kind of go through and check the other individuals and make sure that we find them. Because what I'd prefer to do with this bucket is have them all at a reasonable depth so that I can kind of know. So we're going to take a moment. We're going to excavate gingerly. I see another one right here. Feels firm, but not squishy. Feels moist, but not squishy. Still feels firm. So good sign. It looks like they didn't go through a really hard freeze thaw that will cause them to fail or to start rotting. So give me just a moment. I do want both hands back again, but we'll be back in just a second. All right, so we've got most of the substrate. We've got a couple of inches left in the box between the top of the substrate and the top of the box. And we have our seeds pulled out and ready to go. They are in a range of conditions. I'm going to start with the worst looking one here. So probably not doing so hot. There's a good chance that this doesn't need to be there. Just a little bit of mold. Just a little bit of mold. But we're going to put these out. Some of them, I'm just not sure. So I'm going to show these in hopefully well-focused, up-close type shots. If you folks have feedback about these, if you've seen states similar, if you have feedback or advice, I'd love to hear it. It's possible that this mix was just too wet for them. And I may have introduced a little bit of rot to them just with how wet some of this was. But by the same token, I've also had situations where they have dried out so completely that they were practically dust by the time they came out. So I'm still dialing it in for the pawpaws. I'm just not sure. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. It's a lot of brown and not a lot of green. And when I was opening this bucket up, one of my neighbors stopped by. Her name's Jean. She's a real sweet lady. She's a master gardener, a certified master gardener. All the certification means is that you've completed the coursework and you also participate in group projects and community betterment projects. Otherwise, you're just a master gardener. So the certified is that you put it to work in the community. Yeah, see, it's this little bit of brown that's just showing in the cracks of these. And I keep wanting it to be green, but I have a feeling. That this is not necessarily going to be as successful as I would like. Still, hope springs eternal. I would love for these to succeed. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. Again, if you have feedback, if you have moisture levels that have worked for you, or other advice specific to doing pawpaw from seed, I would love to hear it. I think these might have just been too wet. Entirely possible. Yeah, I don't know about this one either. But they'll go in. This is what it looks like. We're going to cover them. Okay, so everything is covered over in the pawpaw box. I did have a little bit of leftover potting mix that I decided to just kind of toss in. So we'll hope that they do well. I'll personally hope that some of you reach out with any of your anecdotal or better than anecdotal, rigorously studied or controlled for experiences or advice regarding the pawpaw seeds. I'll hope for that. And yeah, I have one more box to make up, which is the sea buckthorn, and the key ingredient there is crime. But I figure I'll end this with something I'm actually pretty excited about. It's something I started doing last fall before winter started, and it looks promising, so we'll finish on that. All right, so I know it's not the prettiest thing, but I have this whole mess of rock wall, and so following a visit with a friend of mine who had taken old pots and things that hadn't really done well, and he stuffed them into an old foundation that had gaps, I have gone ahead and done something similar. Now, these are not as protected as they probably ought to be, and they've definitely taken a little bit of a beating from the cold, but I did not have this many buds when this went in. And I've just kind of crammed a few different ones into the spaces between the rocks. And we're doing okay. I'll probably have to come in and just dress these a little bit, but I think I have enough small pebbles that I can make it look like backfilled with rocks, so that the substrate is a little hidden, so that there's a little less chance for randomly falling seeds to germinate in it and kind of dislodge these cutesy little plants. But I've gone and done this in a couple of the spots and crevices in the rock wall, and it's cute. And I'm really hoping that throughout this growing season we can kind of track this and see how it does. So keep me honest and remind me to update you about the rock wall garden. But I'm going to go finish being filthy so that I can go wash my hands and eat some lunch. Till next time. Thanks for watching. Happy planting.